In this video, we will show you how to install your front wheel bearing module on this Honda Accord. This will be located behind your front wheel. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we need to do is safely raise and support the front of the vehicle so the wheels are off the ground. Remove all 4 of your 19mm lug nuts, the hubcap, and the wheel. Let's get the wheel off of here. Now with that out of the way, we have a clear view of our 36mm axle nut. Go ahead and remove the axle nut. Use a hammer and punch to break the axle free from the wheel bearing assembly located behind it. Moving along, we're going to push back our caliper piston. That goes inside this area here. You can use a small prying device, come inside the slot of the caliper, gently pry up against the brake rotor behind there, and as you start pulling it away, it's going to start pushing in that piston. Now that we have the caliper piston pushed back, let's have a look at the flex hose. You'll find that it has a mounting bracket, and that's held in place with 2 10mm headed bolts. Remove the pair. Let's get these out of here. Now we can make our way to our 2 caliper bracket mounting bolts. Use our 17mm on these. A quick inspection and we'll start it back in just a couple threads. Get this one out of here. Now we can take hold of the caliper, carefully remove it from the rotor. The next thing that you need to do is have a quick look at your braking material. You have your inner brake pad and your outer brake pad. If it looks like it's worn, it's a good time to go ahead and replace your front brakes. This one looks fine. We'll make sure we hang it aside so it's putting no pressure on our flex hose. Let's continue on at the upper ball joint. For this, typically you're going to find that you have a locking cotter pin. You can go ahead and remove that and recycle it. It's a good idea to replace these whenever you remove them. Now we can use a 17mm to remove our mounting nut. Go ahead and remove it, a quick inspection, and start it back on just a couple threads. With that nut in place, we'll continue on with a hammer, causing some vibration on the steering knuckle, being extremely careful not to cause any damage to the upper ball joint. Take hold of that control arm. You should be able to pull it down by hand. If you have a hard time, you could use a prying device. Come along the top of the control arm underneath the coil spring on your front strut. We'll remove that mounting nut. Lift up on the control arm, and at this point we can start pulling this away from the vehicle. Be extremely careful not to put a tug on the axle located behind there. We'll just press this through as we pull it away. With that tipped out of the way, we can continue on with our 4 12mm headed mounting bolts that hold the wheel bearing to that steering knuckle. A quick inspection of the mounting hardware as you remove it. We'll make sure we start back in the bolt here. We don't want anything falling out while we continue. Let's get this last one down here in the far corner. Now we'll use some penetrant in this area. Now we can start removing the wheel bearing module from the hub unit. We'll do that by using our mounting bolts along the back side. You just want to make sure you have them threaded in a few good threads. We'll continue on with an air hammer, causing vibration, driving this out and away. Now that I've got some movement from this corner, we'll continue on by doing it in the rest of the corners as needed so we can remove this. You want to be extremely careful not to let this fall and potentially hurt you. It is heavy. I've got plenty of movement from this. We'll remove it from the vehicle. Over on the bench, we need to separate the brake rotor from the hub. You'll find it's held in place with 4 14mm headed mounting bolts. If you find that this is stuck together, you can carefully tap on the brake rotor with a rubber mallet. You want to be extremely careful not to damage the braking surface. I'm going to be replacing my brake rotor anyways. Once you have that separated, you want to make sure that you spin the wheel bearing so you can remove it from the brake rotor. You just got to get it lined up perfectly and it should slide right out. Brake rotor's pretty rusted on this one. A quick inspection of your brake rotor and you can set that aside. Let's get this over to the press. Now over at the press, we're going to need to find an adapter that can make its way in between the hub and the bearing itself. We'll slide it around. As you can tell, this does hit up against at least 3 of the ears, which is important. Now we'll set this in position, attempting to align it as close as possible. We can make our adjustments as needed. When you go to press this out, you want to only press in the center area here. We're driving the hub out of the bearing. If you don't have an adapter, you could use a 30mm socket. We'll just rest that directly in the center. Now, of course, if there is excessive space in here, you can use another adapter as needed. Just get this aligned. Let's start applying pressure. Make sure you have hand and eye protection at all times. Just confirm everything's properly aligned here. Safety is the #1 priority at all times. This is actually coming out fairly easily. There it is, friend. Once you have the bearing off of the hub, what you're going to find is that you typically will have the race of the bearing still stuck on your bearing hub. We need to remove that so when we install a brand new bearing, it'll sit flush. Now, typically, you can heat this up and then drive it off with an air chisel of some sort. If you happen to have a cutting torch, you want to be extremely careful not to cause any damage to the actual hub itself. Now that we have the race off of there, the next thing that we need to do is clean and inspect the hub surface, making sure that it's still in good condition so we can press this into the brand new bearing assembly. Just use some fine sandpaper, we'll give it a light scuffing. Once you're sure this is a smooth surface, we also want to make sure we get along the base area. A quick confirmation this is still in good condition, and now we can make our way back over to the press. Let's prepare for installation of our hub here. We want to make sure that we have this set on an adapter so it's pressing directly on the center, but we want to confirm that we are not going to cause any damage to any of our studs. Let's take hold of that hub module. Now take a quick look at it. On one side, you're going to find that it has a rubber seal. As you turn it around, you'll find that the other side does not. We want to make sure we have the side with the rubber seal facing towards that hub. We'll make sure we have this lined up as evenly as possible. When you go to press this in position, you need to press directly on the center race, never on the outer portion, and especially never in the center area here. That's going to cause damage, and you're going to have to re-replace the bearing assembly. This is where we'll press. To install this, we can use the original race. You'll find that that places right over the top here. Make sure that everything's properly aligned. If you need to, you can use another adapter. Once again, we're confirming everything's properly aligned, and we can continue applying some pressure. A quick confirmation here. Now, as we start pressing this down, you want to make sure that you're spinning the bearing a little bit. If it feels like it's binding, there's probably an issue. You want to pause and resituate. Now we'll pause and have a look down in this area. We need to confirm that we're as close as possible. Perfect. At this point, we can release pressure. Let's get this out of here. And now we can get this over to the bench. Now over on the bench, we want to make sure that we clean the backside of the hub surface. This is the mating surface where the rotor will sit. You can use a wire brush for this or some sandpaper. Go ahead and take that brake rotor. We're going to slide it over the backside of the bearing. Now you need to align those mounting bolt holes. Take those mounting bolts. It's a good idea to use some blue thread locker. We'll start each of these in. Now that we have all of these mounting bolts in here, we'll make sure we snug them up. The torque for these is 40 foot-pounds. When we snug these, we'll make sure we snug them in a crisscross manner. Let's just make sure they're nice and snug. What you'll find when you go to torque these is it's going to want to spin. You can use a long pry bar, come across the studs, being careful not to cause any damage. Now we can get this over to the vehicle. Before we can install our bearing and hub unit, it's important to make sure that you clean the mating surface. You could use a wire brush for this. Let's make our way along the backside, try to clean out the port where the wheel bearing goes. A quick blast with some parts cleaner. And of course, a thorough inspection. Now that we're sure everything's cleaned, we'll use some copper anti-seize in the port here, and we can also use some on the splines of the axle. Just use a glove finger to spread it around as necessary. Now we can prepare to install this. Have a look at the bolt holes. What you'll find is that they're not necessarily squared off. This side, in between here, is a much wider distance between here and here. Make sure you have it in the proper orientation. We want to have the area with the two bolt holes that are separated farthest towards the front of the vehicle. Slide this into place, and then we can make our way along the backside, starting those mounting bolts. We use some blue thread locker on these, of course. After you've started each one of these mounting bolts in by hand, you can continue on to snugging them up and then torque them to 33 foot-pounds. Make sure to do this in a crisscross manner so you're sure it's seated properly. get the upper ball joint in place. Once again, if you have a hard time pulling down on the control arm, use a small prying device. Snug it up, torque it to 32 foot-pounds. Now that this is torqued, the next thing that you need to do is pay attention to the slots on the mounting nut in comparison to the hole on the stud itself for the ball joint. If it's not properly aligned to be able to put in a cotter pin, continue tightening the nut until the very next slot is. It looks as though ours is properly aligned, so I'll continue on with my cotter pin, slide it right on through there, and pin it over. Now we can get the caliper back in place. Start in both of your mounting bolts. We'll be using some blue thread locker. Once you have them started in, snug them up and torque them to 80 foot-pounds. Let's make our way to the flex hose mounting bracket. We want to make sure that we install both of those 10mm headed mounting bolts. Snug them up. Now it's time to install our axle nut. When you're doing this, you never want to use an impact gun. You do not want to cause any damage to your wheel bearing. You can snug it up with your hand or by ratchet. We'll get this closer down to the ground, and then we can torque it to manufacturer's specifications. Now with this closer to the ground, we can torque it. What you may find when you go to torque this is going to want to spin on you. If that's the case, you can either have a second person inside of the vehicle holding the brake pedal firmly, or you can use a pry bar diagonally down across this area, down towards the ground. We'll torque this to 180 foot-pounds. Once you have that torqued, the next thing that you need to do is lock it in. If you were to look at the end of the axle shaft, you can see that it has a small notched out area. We'll use a hammer and punch and drive the nut into that area, locking it in so there's no way this can loosen up on us while we're driving down the road. Let's give the area one last quick inspection to make sure everything's torqued as necessary, and we can reinstall the wheel with the hubcap. When installing your hubcap, you want to look for the valve stem port. Align it with your valve stem. With that aligned, all the lug stud holes should align as well, and we'll continue on with the lug nuts. Start them on, bottom them out. We'll get the wheel safely back on the ground, and we can torque each of these to 80 foot-pounds. With the wheel back on the ground, we'll torque these in a crisscross manner. Torqued. Okay friend, we've got our vehicle back together. At this point, you want to go ahead and take it for a road test down to your local alignment shop. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.